Hey everyone, Gallifrey797 and welcome to today's breakdown video for Chapter 5 of Flux, Survivors of the Flux. We ended on the cliffhanger last week that the Doctor was a weeping angel and Yaz, Dan along with Jericho are stuck in 1901. Similar to episodes 1 and 3, this takes more of a time-hopping episode rather than like a standalone story. There's a lot of all the characters that we've seen through Flux coming into here with some great surprises and reveals. So we break down all the Easter eggs and the plot as well. If I miss anything or any of your favourite moments that I mention, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. So we open the episode with the Doctor as an angel within an army of other angels. She's undone of the transformation of being a weeping angel and she's trying to figure out what they want with her. They talk to her using the Doctor's own voice, which they've done in previous episodes, including the last week's Weeping Angel episode using Jericho's voice against him. They're transporting her somewhere and say her friends are marooned in time. In 1904, set 3 years after the ending of the last chapter, Yaz, Dan and Jericho break into a temple in Mexico where they retrieve a pot they've been searching for, which they need to decode the writing on. The Doctor's woken up by an Ood. The Ood were introduced in the Apostle Planet the Satan Pit two-parter of Series 2 and fully explored in the Series 4 episode Planet of the Ood, and appearing in multiple episodes in cameo appearances ever since. There are telepathic species that were enslaved to become servants. The Ood takes the Doctor to the mysterious old woman who cameoed near the end of Chapter 3. She's at a circuitry which has wires going up into trees and a beautiful panning up shot. The old woman says that they're in division and welcomes the Doctor back. Yaz, Dan and Jericho take the pot to be deciphered, with Yaz revealing it will reveal the date of when the world will be in terrible danger. Before it can be deciphered, someone plants a bomb before they can do it, with no choice but to run. We cut to them on a ship where they get into a fight with someone pretending to be their servant. Yaz has a great fight scene using her police training. The man who's working for the ground serpent says, "You can't fight the future." But before they can get any answers, he takes a poison capsule hidden in his tooth, which is a trope that has been seen in many different spy films. In 1958 England, the Grand Serpent, who was seen in Vinder's backstory in Chapter 3, gave the order to kill his enemies. He's on a bird shoot with Farquhar under the alias Prentice. Farquhar reveals he's been assigned to set up UNIT, the army set up to deal with alien threats and having a strong presence in Doctor Who's history. Farquhar wants Prentice's eyes over the development of UNIT due to his nature of work. Farquhar is very gullible as he's convinced this is just a happy convenience, but the audience knows the Grand Serpent has a plan. Yaz plays a hologram message from the Doctor mentioning how they just left the planet Time from Chapter 3 and ends the message by saying she's being called by Yaz into the TARDIS control room, which is when Yaz shouted for the Doctor after a weeping angel came for her phone and took over the TARDIS. The Doctor's left a hologram message for their companions in the past. The most memorable one is the Ninth Doctor and Rose in the Series 1 finale. The Doctor has given Yaz a task to find out when a battle for Earth will be, as she predicts species will want the Earth as it's being protected by the Lipari, Carvanista's species. Back with the Doctor, the mysterious old woman reveals she's in charge of Division currently. She reveals how it started on Gallifrey to ensure the safety of the galaxy, but as they travelled more of the universe, it evolved and became about taking control and shaping future events for their own needs and employing different species to work across time and space in the shadows, which the Doctor reminds her goes against the Time Lord code of not interfering with other peoples and planets. Back on Earth, Carfanista reports that there's a breach in the Lipari shield as the ship has drifted off and recalls the ship Bell has been used to travel across the universe. She's at a monolith which looks creepily like the Gallifrey Citadel, which was blown up at the end of Series 12. She's been following traces from Pisano, where she was last chapter, and Vinder has followed her due to her leaving her signal on for him to find her. But before she can dock to investigate, Carvanista hyperjacks her back to Earth. Vinder, however, has managed to teleport onto the planet. He finds all the people that have been going missing across the universe. The Ravagers are using people as space and their powers as time to connect with, quote, her again, which is revealed at the end of the episode to be the mysterious old woman. The old woman shows the Doctor the Division ship where all Division operations come from, which is outside and in between universes 1 and 2, within a multiverse. Multiple Earths and universes have been plot points in superhero content, including the CW crossovers for DC and the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home film. The shaking of the ship is due to the ship moving from one universe to the other, and her plans to destroy the universe using the Flux and move into another, taking bits from the previous universe into the next, due to the Doctor. Because the Doctor knows about the division due to the Master revealing the information to her in the series 12 finale, the old woman's plan was to destroy the universe and the Doctor to protect the existence of the division from the Doctor, as she gives people hope to rise up and question, which doesn't work out for the division's secrecy. The woman says the Doctor disrupted the Flux by putting the TARDIS in front of the Flux and blasting vortex energy from it. This was in Chapter 1, The Halloween Apocalypse. The woman reveals her true identity as the woman who brought her to Gallifrey and raised her, Tecteun from the Series 12 finale Flashbacks, the adopted mother of the Doctor. In England, 1967, Unit Headquarters is fully operational with a sign based on the classic series. The house is also based on the Three Doctors' appearance, and in the garden there are yellow daffodils, which could be the reference to the Terror of the Autons, a John Pertwee Unit story with the first appearance of the Master working with the Autons, who had plastic killer daffodils. The Grand Serpent is walking around with Farquhar, where we hear a familiar voice, Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, friend of the Doctor in numerous incarnations. Farquhar reveals he was brought in as he missed the incident at the post office tower, which is a reference to the William Hartnell story, The War Machines. In Farquhar's office, the Grand Serpent spots the TARDIS. Farquhar reveals it was taken from an abandoned village in Devon, where in the last chapter, the Weeping Angels took over. He reveals the entire village is being converted into a military training territory, which was revealed in the last chapter by Claire, who googled the village's history before being sent back in time after getting premonitions. Farquhar's alien detector device reveals that Prentice is alien. The Grand Serpent kills him using a creature implanted inside his body, which reminds me of the Master's snake-like form in the Paul McGann 8th Doctor TV movie. The Doctor figures out Tecteun and Herud are trying to take the structure of the universe into Nex, whilst wrecking the one they leave behind. Tecteun has brought the Doctor's division to make sure she won't save it from her actions. We get a flashback of Tecteun finding a young version of the Doctor. They have an argument about what Tecteun should have done, as she feels she was saving her, but the Doctor counteracts by saying what could have happened if she didn't take her, including waiting to be collected by someone or taken through the wormhole. The Doctor feels robbed of a life that she could have had, but Tecteun reveals she gave her a journey of a lifetime, the whole history of the show, set off by her actions. I'd love to see a Marvel-style what-if episode on what would have happened if Tecteun didn't take the Doctor away. Vinder is found out by Passenger and Swarm on the monolith. He's transported into the prison of the Passenger and meets Di inside. This is a nice callback to how Vinder told Dan he'd get Di back at the end of Chapter 3. We don't know what her plans are until the finale next week, but she takes Vinder's gun and says she's got some scores to settle with this lot, who I assume are the Ravagers. Yaz, Dan and Jericho walk up a mountain to meet a man who's a recluse in Nepal. Jericho thinks he can reveal how the battle foreshadowed in the Doctor's hologram message will happen and how they can get there. In a comedic scene where the hermit defies expectations and wanted them to bring him gossip and food, he keeps teasing them about what he knows and doesn't, but reveals he has 3 words for them, saying, "Fetch your dog." Jericho has no clue, but Dan and Yaz know exactly what he's talking about. Carvanista. Yaz has an idea which we see executed in a montage scene where they travel to the Great Wall of China and paint a message big enough it can be seen from outer space, telling Carvanista to fetch his human, referring to Dan. Carvanista sees this message but doesn't have time travel, so can't retrieve them. This style of graffitiing landmarks is a homage to how River Song used to leave messages for the 11th Doctor. For example, in The Time of Angels and Pandorica Opens, to get their attention. The Doctor tries to plead with the U's humanity, as he's about to wipe out the Ood in the universe he's about to destroy. The Doctor promises she can help and convinces you to show her the universe that remains after the Flux. The Ood reveals the destruction of the universe is centred around Earth. The Doctor says she can reverse the polarity of the conversion plates of the ship. This is a reference to the famous 3rd Doctor line, which popped up in last chapter against the Weeping Angels. The Doctor is distracted by a noise in her head. The Doctor sees an old floating house, seen in the opening of Chapter 2 in black and white, and sees a fob watch. This chameleon art watch was first used in Human Nature and Family Blood by the Doctor, the Master in Utopia, and in last series with the fugitive Doctor, all in a bid to hide their true identity. The Grand Serpent is trying to take charge of UNIT in 1987 by convincing the retiring chair of UNIT, but he denies him as he reveals he's unliked and he's barely around. This is because the Grand Serpent is jumping through time, hopping to different parts of UNIT's history to infiltrate it. The man reveals he'd be in charge over his dead body, so he kills him the same way as he did Farquhar, by turning the heating up full blast in his car to activate the Serpent. Yaz and Daniel are waiting for a response from Carvanista, but are interrupted by the Victorian man who's been popping up all series into random places and times. Dan recognises him as Joseph Williamson. This real-life figure, who was a philanthropist, is best known for the Williamson Tunnels, which was constructed under his direction in the Edge Hill area of Liverpool, England. His philanthropy earned him the nickname the King of Edge Hill. The gang travelled to Liverpool to find him in the tunnels. Yaz reveals what they know, saying they believe the fabric of space and time are under threat and they need his help to stop it happening. Joseph gets quite emotional, saying finally someone understands him, and takes them to show them what he's built. Tech 10 reveals the history of the Doctor's time in Division has been extracted from the Weeping Angel, who claimed in last chapter they had knowledge of all the Division's history. Tecton had put this inside a fob watch. She gives her an ultimatum to either save the universe she loves or regain her memories and rejoin Division alongside her in the next universe, tempting her by taking her to the wormhole where she was found by Tecton. But the Doctor reveals she couldn't let the universe die, no matter how great the temptation. In 2017, we get the return of Kate Stewart, the daughter of Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart. The Grand Serpent reveals UNIT's operations are being wound down. This explains why the 2018 New Year's Day special resolution, when the Doctor tried to get hold of Kate Stewart and UNIT, she couldn't, which is a nice explanation, which I wonder if Chibnall knew all along or thought of this explanation later on. Kate reveals she's been looking into his seedy past of forged documents and photos from the last 5 decades. She's figured out he's an alien and can time travel. She's got a psychic manifest shield on, so he won't be able to use his snake to kill her from the inside. She warns him of her power as the head of UNIT, and he needs to stop what he's doing, otherwise she'll call in a favour from someone he doesn't want to argue with, referring to the Doctor. But when she gets home, she escapes her home being blown up. She calls Osgood, who was her personal assistant. She tells her she's going dark and runs into the distance. This explains why UNIT and Kate have had no presence in the show from Series 10, the 12th Doctor's last series, to now. In 2021, Carvanista and Bell have a shootout on her Lipari ship, but are stopped by the ship shaking and the Lipari command informing them that the Lipari fleet are under attack. Back in 1904, Joseph reveals he's built the tunnels to save humanity from the destruction to come, with multiple doorways to many worlds. He reveals the doorways have changed, however, due to the Flux's destruction, reshaping the universe. How we got the information will hopefully be explained in the finale. Both times with Yaz, Dan, Jericho and Joseph alongside Bell and Carvanista are being infiltrated, with the 1904 crew having knocks and bangs from the multiple doors and the 2021 Lipari ship being boarded. The Grand Serpent orders Earth's defences to be focused inward onto Earth's key cities after infiltrating UNIT. It's revealed he's been working with the Sontarans, who we last saw in Chapter 2 of Flux. They're seeking revenge after the Doctor stopped their plans and their ships being wiped out. The Grand Serpent has been infiltrating UNIT throughout time for this very moment, for the Sontarans to invade Earth with ease due to their partnership with the Grand Serpent. A mass of Sontaran ships enter Earth's atmosphere to take on the Lipari. Similar to how the Cybermen blew up Bell's Lipari ship doors, she must have repaired them, but unfortunately they have to be repaired again as the Sontarans bore, blowing up the doors. In 1904, Sontarans enter the tunnels and attack Yaz, Dan, Jericho and Joseph in the name of Sontar. The Doctor tells Tecton she's going to save her friends and the universe and destroy Division, saying it's personal and she will win. But before she can go any further, Swarm and Azor enter, revealing the experiment they're using people for was to build a psycho-temporal bridge using their energy to get to the Division. They want revenge on the Division for imprisoning them, which you saw in Chapter 3. Swarm gets a personal revenge on Tecton by wiping her out and killing her, using his vast powers, and goes to destroy the Doctor before the theme tune starts playing. So it's a good penultimate episode. It was great to have a bit more about Division and giving us more questions, like what will be in the Fob Watch revealed next week. I loved all the unit stuff, going through the different eras, seeing how it started. The return of Kate Stewart was magnificent. And I loved the voice cameo from Nicholas Courtney, the Brigadier. Yaz, Dan and Jericho's globe-hopping adventure was really fun. It was great to actually see Joseph Williamson have a full-on part this time, as opposed to having like mini out-of-context cameo appearances. I'm very excited for Vinda to help Die, but she seems to have got it taken control of using his gun. I'm interested to see where they're going to explore. I guess go through the prison of the passenger. Carbonice and Bell are going to have to put their differences aside to take out the Sontarans that have just boarded their ship. The Tecton reveal I kind of saw coming. I was like, this guy's going to be Tecton, and it was. I was more shocked though to see the surprise return of Sontarans, setting up obviously them taking over Earth next week. Swarm and Azura's part was quite little, but it feels like next week's going to be their time to shine, with them now taking a division. They're very powerful creatures themselves, but now they've got rid of Tecton and the control division. They're pretty unstoppable. But next time looks great. We see the Sontarans taking over Earth with their ships landing on key cities and landmarks. Kate Stewart looks to be in the Joseph William tunnels taking on the Sontarans. We get a fleet of different aliens and monsters, I guess, wanted to take over Earth. We've got the Daleks return with the same design ship from Revolution of the Daleks. Cyber warriors with guns from the past, which were first seen in Doomsday and seen in many episodes, including Pandora Opens, A Good Man Goes to War, and most recently, Ascension the Cybermen. We get a shot of Claire confirming her return with her and Jericho having not such a good ride in this machine, and Azor opening the Gallifreyan fob watch with Gallifreyan symbols teasing the reveal of the Doctor's life at Division. So we're in for an action-packed, exciting, revelation-revealing finale. So count me very excited indeed. So what did you think of Chapter 5 of Flux, Survivors of the Flux? Let me know your thoughts and review of the episode in the comment section below. As always, you can please comment, like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Links and stuff in the description below. At the end of the video, you can check out my breakdown for other past episodes. But until next time, bye bye!